Look, it's not all the Bretonnian stuff, but it's everything I got for the Bretonnians. So we just here in Australia had our Old World release last weekend, and everything had to arrive in the mail. So that took time. But it's finally here, and I haven't opened it yet. I wanted to wait until I was able to work out live stream. Yes, I am popping the cherry. It's very exciting for me. It's look, it's a whole new adventure and a whole new journey. It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little bit nervous here, but it's because look, live is a whole different situation. But we're here. We're doing it. I haven't worked out the overhead cam while live. That wasn't particularly working. But I'll get there. Hello, Go For A Painting. Welcome to my stream with my two viewers. How exciting. So, look, in future, I'll be announcing streams. We'll get a few more people into them. But I thought I'd just go live to test, and whoever wanted to pop in and have a look at my first crack at live streaming, they're more than welcome. So, keen to look at all these goodies. So, what do we got here? We've got the cards. So I bit the bullet. I went through Games Workshop. The only things I actually got through retail Games Workshop were the cards, because you could, of course, not get them through third-party retailers. I went with all the books, because the books are, that's the good stuff, right? So we've got the Forces of Fantasy here. We've got the Ravening Hordes, and then each of the Arcane Journals, which are just beautiful, as you'd expect. I actually quite like this thinner paperback form for the it reminds me of kind of 3rd edition, 4th edition 40k codexes. A little bit smaller, a little bit tighter. They're paper, they're not as expensive. I don't have a problem with it at all. That's absolutely fine. So we went with the 2 Arcane Journals. I'll be collecting all of the Arcane Journals, I have absolutely no doubt. I have most of the factions. So let's see, I think I'm up to 12 fantasy factions. So I'll be grabbing all the Arcane Journals, and I want to get to all 16, right? I think it's 16 now with the Chaos Dwarves. All 16 will be collected. It will happen, but it's a journey. We'll get there. So yeah, we have the books. We'll go through them in a bit, but I really want to open this box. I haven't opened yet. Popping the cherry, both for live stream and for Old World. But I also got the dice. Like an absolute sucker. I couldn't help myself. I didn't get the faction specific dice. I got the generic fantasy ones, because these will be great for use for all armies. They're really pretty. I did open this. This was the one thing that I did open, and they're really nice. Getting a artillery dice just was so difficult for the last few years that me and my mates have been playing 8th edition fantasy, but we now have them. Hello, Zanja. The box is absolutely huge, and it's so pretty. The artwork is just lovely. But it is big. We're about to see exactly what's inside it. And look, I'm sure plenty of people have seen this. I have not. I've been staying off the internet to look exactly what this looks like inside the box, so this is a new adventure for me. I'm very excited. But these dice, I think $74 dues. Oh, I'm not sure what that sounds like on the audio there as they rattle around. But look, for $74 dues, they want to be some pretty great dice. And you know what? They're pretty great. I quite like them. I can't help myself. Having the Hammer of Sigmar there is quite nice. So, I imagine that's Galmaraz, I want to say. Probably. Sure, that's probably what it is. But that can go down there for now, because we have to open this ridiculous box for the first time. My very first big Old World opening. Here we go. It's coming out. I know there's like ASMR for box opening, where just the pretty sound of boxes opening is a whole genre, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the goodies inside. Oh, I am so pumped for plastic Bretonnians. It's one of the armies I don't have. So out of the 11 or 12 that I do have, how many do I have? Let's see, 9, 10, 11. There we go. So out of the 11 armies that I do have, Bretonnians is not one of them. Here in Australia in particular, trying to get your hands on a nice Bretonnian army over the last few years has been almost impossible. It's just, they were so expensive. I collected various armies, the most expensive of which was probably the Tomb Kings. They also were not cheap. And Bretonnians are Tomb Kings, right? That's been the most expensive. Hence, one of the reasons, I'm sure, why Games Workshop has gone with them first. But Bretonnians now, and Tomb Kings, so easy to get. And seeing them new on Sprue in plastic is just such an absolute treat. I did not think this day would come. I was not expecting it to when I started playing 8th edition fantasy in, I want to say, 2019, 2020. So for this now to be here is an absolute dream come true. From a fantasy perspective, this channel was really started with the intent of one day playing fantasy. So for that day to be today, also on my first live stream, is, look, it's really exciting. I've got a big smile on my face. You can't see my face. Eventually I will have kind of a face box set up as well, so you can see my face while we're doing this, because that'd be, what a treat for you to be able to see my face. Imagine not being able to do that. It adds more engagement, right? It's a whole thing. But yeah, so for this box to be here, giant smile on my face, super keen to start opening it. So they're going with the orange. The orange has been the main theme for the templates lately, so there we go. I have plenty of templates kicking around, but that's fine. What have we got here? What is this? Oh, that's interesting. It's a little baggie of some of the parts of what I assume are the Pegasus Knights. Maybe they fell off the sprue? Here we go. Oh, geez. Bunch of things are coming in baggies. Okay, maybe they couldn't fit all the sprues in the boxes. After this, I will jump online and check if other people are getting bits in baggies in this box, as opposed to everything being on sprue. I've never seen anything like this out of Games Workshop before, so that is a little bit strange. But what do we got in here? So we've got some horsies, fabulous. Great to see that those shields are actually, I barely even looked at the Bretonnian range. Glad to see the shields are actually embossed onto the horse's, what do we call it? Cloth regalia? I don't know. But the shields are on there to make painting them extra easy and doing cool stuff with them. So there we go. So in a baggie, for some reason, which is really interesting, are a bunch of horses. They've still got the old school lines that come under the hooves, where you used to insert them into those old school bases that had the grooves in them, or the long holes, the vertical horizontal style slits. So it'll be interesting to see with the 60 by 30 bases as we dig down through this box, whether that is still the case, or whether they will have to be snipped off to then get the horses in there. But that could cause issues with certain poses of the horses. Wait and see. It doesn't look like all the horses have that, although that might be the Pegasus Knights that I'm looking at. So we've got a bunch of horses in baggies for some reason. Very strange. Not all of the bits of the horses, just their bodies. We'll be going online to seeing if that's the normal thing. Same in baggies. We've got bits of a Pegasus Knight here. We've got some heads. We've got some wings. Not all of them, it seems. Really odd. I don't know what Games Workshop's doing here, but there's a lot of heads in here too, so I'm guessing these are the heads for the horses that we've just seen. The detail on that is looking nice and sharp. I don't know if they went in and retooled the masters for the plastic horses, but that's absolutely fine. What's my bitrate? I'm getting a warning here, and it's saying the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Is that affecting, I guess, the visual and the detail that you can see there? I'm not really sure. I'll have to look at it afterwards and experiment and play around and see. The internet capability getting up to where I've set up this small little studio is not necessarily fantastic, so I might be looking at a Wi-Fi extender as well to get some more powerful internet up here for these streams. I didn't know how my Australian internet would handle, the classic and famous NBN would handle streaming, but it looked like it's doing okay for now. Certainly let me know in the comments if the streaming is interrupted or the visual isn't great. I don't know what it's set to normally. It'll be interesting to see. So yeah, let me know in the comments what it looks like and if it's choppy or not. Alright, so next sprue we have, what do we got here? This looks like it might be the character of some description. We've got a cape, we've got a sword, we've got a lance, we've got all kind of funky bits and pieces. It's got to be some kind of character here, right? Very nice. So that's great. That looks fantastic. How close can we get here before it kind of loses detail? I'm going to hold that up. I'm on a bit of a delay, so not things are live, so I'm kind of playing around as I go. So that is the Bretonnian character, I guess, sprue, potentially for the Duke/Baron on is it a Royal Pegasus? It is a Royal Pegasus. I do have the standard bearer as well. I couldn't help myself. I actually went into my local gaming store after ordering everything online and saw they had a bunch of stuff in, which was not what I was expecting. So out of guilt, I grabbed the battle standard bearer on Royal Pegasus because I didn't have one. I didn't have a standard bearer. Do you need them in Bretonnian armies? I'm not really sure, but it's a cool model. I'll do some interesting conversion stuff with it that I might not otherwise do with the Duke or the Baron that comes in this core set. Now we start getting into the other sprues. It's amazing the difference between these sprues versus what we get modern days. There's so many gaps in them and so much space in them, which I guess is testament to how they used to have to produce miniatures and what they used to look like and how they could previously design them and tool them. But I think the Bretonnian models, the men-at-arms in particular, and the archers are just absolutely fantastic from a quality perspective. They're so nice. The detail on these and the aesthetics, I guess, the style of the army, I much prefer it to the Empire spearmen and gunmen, whatever you want to call them. I really like the Bretonnian style, which is why I was always so sad that I didn't have an army of them. I will be doing a bunch of conversion with these. So whether that be some 3D printed bits, I have actually ordered the Cavaliers, the Free Guild Cavaliers box, because I want to use a bunch of those little bits, not the whole model, because I don't think that'll be appropriate and probably too big, but little bits and pieces to really get converting. I haven't done really a heavily converted army for a while. What date is on the sprue? Let's have a look. Hello, who's that? Yep, Pipsqueak. Alright, still there, still hanging out. Fantastic. The date on the sprue is 2008. I love that. So good. We're going back in time. And look, 2000 to 2010 is just peak Games Workshop. So I'm so glad that we're going back to those times. Some of the little details in this are great. I love the little pheasant. This little pheasant. See if we can get that in the camera. I'm not sure that'll show up. Let's find out. No, I think I have to work on that close-up, hey. That's a game. I'll be playing around with that. But there's this tiny little pheasant that you can hang off of your... Is that a rat as well? No, I think that's a pheasant wrapped up. But just those little details that give you that kind of little French, British feel. There's a little rabbit that you can hang off some of your men-at-arms. They've got to carry their little meals with them, right? A little hatchet. Love it. Love the detail on these. And those hats, you can't beat those hats with the round... I don't know what you call them. The brim, I guess, that goes around them. Welcome, Zanja. Quality's pretty good on the stream. Thank you for that. Excellent. Dustin, glad to see you finally got your box. And what a box it is. It's a lot of good old plastic. It sure is. And hey, from the US. Long way away. I'm actually planning on going to the US later in the year. I'm booking flights next week. I've got a plan with a friend of mine who's coming with me. We're going to book flights together to the US. I want to get over there for Gen Con, actually, because Star Wars Unlimited will be coming out. So I've got to decide, do I play a card game or a miniature game? Probably, if I'm traveling, it will be a card game, because it's just easier to travel with. So here we go. All right, we'll move our way through the Bretonnian Men-at-Arms, a whole bunch of identical sprues, but I haven't been to the US in over a decade. So I'm really excited to get over there and just get some culture in. I want to get to New Orleans. I want to get to LA. I want to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which I still haven't done, which is an absolute crime. I've got to make the pilgrimage, the nerd pilgrimage over to America. I was going to do it in 2020, but you know, there was some stuff going on in 2020 that meant international travel wasn't so good. All right, so the Men-at-Arms are out of the way. We are now onto what I can only assume is the Duke/Barons. Oh, is it though? Is it? I think so, yep. Here we go. So this is the Duke/Baron Sprue. We've got the Pegasus here. You know it's a Pegasus. Because I'm going to move my mic. Can I move my mic? I can't. I've actually ordered the boom so I can have the mic up above my camera on the left-hand side here so I don't have to look away from the mic while I'm talking. It's a work in progress. Gen Con is going to be a good one to come for. Fantastic. Good to hear. Apparently, the tabletop convention to get there for. It should not disappoint, I'm sure. In Australia too, our conventions are so tiny. I'm sure anything that I can go to over there is going to be amazing. All right, so we've got the Pegasus here. We've got a bunch of different heads for this Duke/Baron. One's got a little dragon on it. We've got a little lion guy maybe going on. A little horse. HeroCon first, mate. I'm not going to be HeroCon. Is that December? Is it Anzac Cup? Are we talking about the ADF WGA tournaments that we have here in Canberra? My pesky wife has booked a romantic weekend away on the weekend that Anzac Cup is booked. I'm good mates with the people that run ADF WGA. HeroCon. So I'll be going in August over to the US. So I will be back certainly for HeroCon and make sure it's early in the calendar so that the wife can't book anything for it. But Anzac Cup I'm going to miss in April, which is really disappointing because there's going to be some great old world there, I'm pretty sure. Who's running it? One of the boys. and it's going to be great. So I will hear all about it, I'm sure, but I will be in Sydney on a romantic weekend away. Lucky me. What a treat. Thanks. That was my Christmas present from my wife, just to mock me, I'm sure. But here we go. We're back in. So we have the Pegasus here with the Duke, the Baron on it. They've really managed with the new models to maintain the aesthetic of the old, which I love. It would have been so easy for them to go way over the top with these new models, much like the Age of Sigmar range. And look, people like that. I'm not judging it. I love plenty of Age of Sigmar models. Not necessarily the game system, but the models, some of them are great. Some of them are way over the top. They haven't done that. They've kept the old aesthetic. They've kept it really nice and simple and just deliberate is how I like to describe the aesthetic of fantasy. And this new Duke Baron situation is there. He's great. It looks like there's two heads. There's two heads to choose from the Pegasus, which is nice. So I get to differentiate the head at least from my battle standard bearer. And I might want to try and move the wings around. It'll be interesting to see how easy it is to reposition those wings so they don't have that identical silhouette. We'll wait and see. But there we go. So that's the head for the Dukes and the Baron. And now we start getting into other bits and bobs. So these might be the Pegasus Knights, or this might be the Duke Baron kit as well. I'm not sure. It looks pretty big. Those are some big wings. So I'm going to assume this is the other piece of kit for the Duke Baron. It's big. That is a big wingspan on that Pegasus there. But that's fine. That's great. He's big. He's chunky. He's on a 50mm base, I think. So you'd want him to be big. What are we getting into? Oh, no, that must be. This one must be for the Pegasus Knights then, because we've got a second one. Okay. Great. So you've got the 3 different head options for the Pegasus Knights. So each one of them can be different. Fantastic. That makes sense. And then different head options. So all your Pegasus Knights. Pegasi do not look the same. All right, very good. So we've got Pegasus Knights, and this is the third one. There we go. So you got your 3 Pegasus Knights. Then what is in that bag? Oh, it's the wings. Oh, I see. They've put the wings in there and mixed it all up. Sure, DGW. You do you. And here we go. And now we're getting into some of the other Men-at-Arms kits. So what have we got here? We've got some swords. I love that jester head that comes in it. Let's see if we can get a good close-up of that one. So we've got this little jester head in there for one of the characters. You've got that monk as well. There's just so much character that goes into this unit, which is just fantastic. With a little strong box, I think they call them, that you can either chuck on a base, and a little snail. Oh no! What? I've never really looked at these before. I haven't delved into these miniatures. I was waiting for it to be a bit of a treat. You've got this tiny little snail. Let's see if we can get real close up there. Go camera now. All right. Oh, it's hard to see, I'm sure. I don't know if the autofocus is working very well there. There's this tiny little snail, and it's a whole medieval thing with medieval art that for some reason there's always these snails causing absolute chaos in the borders or the margins of old school medieval paintings. They've got swords. They're fighting knights. So I just love that little medieval touch with that snail. That's so much fun. What a treat. The top of the standard looks like you can have some kind of weird ibis crane head. Awesome. There's a little axe poking out of a stump. There's a lot of character in this set. That's so much fun. All right. It is Biggie Hugs. Welcome. You are now one of my 2 concurrent viewers at the moment. That snail would be cool addition to some Mousillon, I think, is the right way to pronounce it. I'm going to have to work my French, being a Bretonnian player now. That's something I have to get onto. Probably not what it's there for, but cool to use. So the Mission situation, I was looking at some really cool zombies, Bretonnian zombies from Medberry Miniatures in my video that I posted, was it yesterday? Possibly. A couple of days ago. And they'll be absolutely perfect for that. I don't think I'm going to go Mousillon, noting the undead nature of them. I'll definitely be going kind of Border Princes, Exile style. I think I will go for that yellow and black scheme though. I think it'll look really good for an Exile army and will suit the purpose of what I'm going for, which is really kind of bedraggled and dirty and filthy looking Bretonnians, which will be easy to do with yellow, because yellow to do very consistently is hard. So then being able to weather it and dirty it up will mean I can have a yellow army that I've been able to cheat on. So here we go. We got more halberds. We got more men-at-arms. There's so many men-at-arms now. It's just bulk men-at-arms. All right, let's get them out of here. I'm going to have to start piling them up over here. And look, it is a big box. It's the same size, I think, as the Heresy 30k box. From a quick comparison, noting I have it over there near me. So the new, the second edition kind of intro Heresy box with all those Mark 6 Marines, etc. That's the same kind of size that this is, and they fit a lot in there, and they couldn't even fit it all in there, so they had to start bagging things up. Let's see what else we got. More Man-at-Arms. We must be getting to the Archers soon. Oh, that pile's getting real unsteady at the back there. Here we go. We got the Archers. Interesting. They're actually a set model. I didn't realize they're essentially 4 different designs. Where's the best place to hold that? Probably down there. And but look, there's some great stuff here. I love the stakes and the chains that hold them together. That just looks so cool. You got a bunch of arrows that stick out of the basing. The basing potential with this and the extra flavor for bases is so nice. I'm so glad I have this army to put straight onto 25mm, and I don't have to worry about trying to rebase it with all this extra basing detail. That would have been an absolute pain, and things would have got lost and would have got broken, and it wouldn't have been as good. Alright, here's the other command kit for the Men-at-Arms. Comes with 2. So you can run them in 2 squads with full command if you're that way inclined. Smaller Men-at-Arms squads might be the way to go, and then giving them, veteran or stubborn or whatever you can, and there's so much stuff you can do with the Bretonnian Infantry, it's wild, to then have your horses countercharge, as opposed to having big Men-at-Arms squads that don't necessarily have a better chance of holding, but do take up more points. Then we start getting into the Knights of the Realm stuff. Alright, now we're talking. This is what we're actually here for. So, we've got 6 different heads, by the looks of it, for the Knights of the Realm. Fabulous. Oh no, there's more. Then you've got the guys without the stuff on top, the mad, what are they called, crests? I don't know. You've got guys with just plain helmets. That would be your Knights Errant, I suppose. And then the Knights of the Realm with the really wild, cool stuff on top. We've got dragons, we've got lions with wings, we've got eagles, more dragons, slightly different dragons. Fabulous. Big on the dragon theme, the Bretonnians, it seems. Well, I'm not going to put them up there. That's getting too dicey. Oh no, there's more. There's 8. There's actually 8 different heads, which is fabulous. And I think, how many knights come in this box? Is it 6? I'm not sure. No, it's more. Is it 8? Is it 12? That's it's probably on the bottom of the box. It shows you. Oh, I'm lifting it up. What could go wrong? It looks like... Oh, it's upside down. I'm going to look at... No, let's turn it around. Oh, jeez. Oh, there they go. The pile of Sprues is over. It's all going to hell. Alright, let's just lift this up without taking everything out of it. What could go wrong? It comes with 12 knights. So maybe you do 6 up as Knights Errant, and you do 6 up as Knights of the Realm. Saying that, Impetuous is a hard sell for me, but just for the character of it. Saying that, Knights Errants are much less common out in the Borderlands, Border Princes, because, of course, you don't get new knights out there. It's the old disgraced ones that have gone out there. Other cool stuff, look at that. It's the little bits that really do it for me. So there is a little eagle, a hooded eagle on this set, that you get there on one of the knights, which is so much fun. What goodness. So much goodness. There's so much character in these models. And it's subtle. It's little subtle bits of character instead of wild, big stuff. And it's bits that you can pick and choose. It's not all pre-set in how you put it together, which is such a nice change on what we've been getting out of GW recently. So there you go, 12 knights, whole bunch of archers, whole bunch of men-at-arms. You've got the Pegasus knights, you've got the Duke, you've got the Baron. It's a big box, which is fantastic. What do we got? Usually they're coming with bits of art these days. No, it's just okay. The old world. You know what? I might grab this. There we go. Nice. It's just a Warhammer Old World little poster thing that connected or created a barrier between the book and the miniatures. Might just stick that up just right next to me on the wall there. Blue tack that in. That might be nice. Just to remind me while I'm here. And here we have the rulebook. Oh, it's meaty. It's a meaty one. I'm guessing we also have a bunch of bases under here. Fabulous. There are the grooves. There we go. So they do have the grooves in the new 30x60mm bases to make it easier to glue in the horses and not having to rely on just their hooves to be that connection point to the base, which is fantastic. You've got the dice now. It has been confirmed. There is not, which is wild. There's a scatter dice in this dice set. Let me hold that for you. But there is not an artillery dice, which is so rude, Games Workshop. They're really mocking people at this stage. So for the last however many years, getting your hands on artillery dice has been really hard. Apparently, it's going to continue to be really hard because there is not an artillery dice in this set. What were they thinking? The Tomb Kings, I assume, also doesn't have one, which is crazy. So the only way to get your hands on an artillery dice is to buy a separate Games Workshop dice set. Am I mad about that? Yes. Have I done it? Yes, I have. Because of course I have. Because the dice are just... pretty dice is one of my many, many weaknesses. But that's insane. We've got some more comments. Those old kits were packed with these tiny bits here and there and had so much character for pieces that compared to more modern sculpts are rather simple for sure. Simple but so flavorful and effective. So flavorful and effective. I can't wait. I can't wait to put these together, and I can't wait to kit bash them with the Free Guild stuff. Hopefully the Free Guild stuff is the right size. It might be a little big. I'm gonna have to test and adjust, and if it is, I'll sell it on. And I won't use it, and I'll get 3D printing essentially. But yeah, so confirmed. If you need an artillery dice, you're gonna have to buy a separate Games Workshop dice set to get your hands on one, which is outrageous. Now, one thing I did want to look at before I start getting into all the other sets is the transfers that came in this box. The transfers that came in this box, so this was the extra standard bearer that I bought here. The transfers in here are just those axes. So that axe that is the, I want to say Gaston, but I could be wrong there. To his house and his barony, dukedom, etc. It's just that axe, that white axe, and a few fiordelices, and that's it. That's all you get in the decal sheet. In fact, you can see it on the back here if I turn it over really close. Let's see. Let's really test this camera out. Oh, it's struggling. It's thinking about it. You can see the decal sheet at the bottom there. You can't really, because it's white decals on the light blue on a camera that's no doubt not doing so well with my dodgy internet. But essentially it's just a bunch of axes, like dozens and dozens of them. We're talking 60 of those axes. I don't know what they were thinking, whether that was just laziness, whether they thought you might need 60 axes for your standard bearer. Wild times. So what I was really looking forward to was to see what the decals were inside the sheet, because it's going to be another 60 axes. Games Workshop and I are going to have words. It is. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Thanks, Games Workshop. You're fighting the good fight. It is. It's just dozens and dozens. Oh, it's got a little bump in there too. Dozens of axes. So many axes. Sure. If you want to do any other kind of decals other than axes, you're going to have to look elsewhere. And look, the axes look great, sure, but I won't be doing that. So these have no meaning. The Fiordelices on here will be useful. I'll hold that still so you can actually see it, and I'll definitely use those. But the bulk axes, not so much. Okay, yep. Thanks, Games Workshop. Now, I have to get this out of the way so I can get into some of the other stuff. Where am I going to put this? For those that don't know, my little recording studio that I've set up is actually in a walk-in wardrobe that I've repurposed. So I'm limited with space, but that's all right. I've put it to the side. It may fall down behind me. If you hear a crash and a bang, that's because it's fallen down. We have the book. Like, these books, they're gorgeous. I love Games Workshop rulebooks. No one else does rulebooks like Games Workshop. I make an absolute point of collecting them, both old ones and new ones. I've been hunting down 5th edition ones, I think, at the moment. Fantasy books. Let's see if I can actually open this. Maybe the sticky sticks will help me open this, if I can get it off my microphone. The whippy sticks. There we go. Yeah, they're pointy. They're pointy and sharp, and they can kill. That'll help me open my book. But yeah, 5th edition fantasy books is what I've been collecting recently. I've just finished off my Forge World Horus Heresy Black book collection. So you better believe I'll be collecting all these fantasy books, because once again, they're beautiful. They're lovely. I love books. I love games. Gaming rule books. It just works. It goes together. We do have a reference sheet in here, which will be great to get our hands on. We have been playing a few games, me and some mates. We are up to, I've played 3 games now of the old world, noting that I haven't even got the rulebook, so we've been using some versions on our phone. But being able to actually have this reference sheet now will be absolutely so useful, because we've been doing things wrong. Little, simple things, because we've been lazy and not checking the rules because they're on our phone, and using rules off your phone sucks. Alright, so great to have that. Let's see. We've got this rulebook here. Opening it for the first time. Get ready to smell it. Oh, and it smells good. I don't know if other people smell their new rulebooks. I have to assume they do, because why wouldn't you? Look, there's old school art. It'd be interesting to know if there's new art in here. If there's not, I don't care, because look at that. Look at that Chaos Warrior. That is just peak Games Workshop art. You don't get better than that. They don't do art like that anymore. It doesn't have the same soul, the same quality. So beautiful to see that art coming back, and I'm pretty sure there's some real old school stuff in here. Yeah, look at this. The emotion and the character in these pictures, much like the old school models, is just something different. It's something else. It's so pretty. So there we go. That's the rulebook. I've got all the other rulebooks up the back here. We're not going to go into them. I am keen, as probably the last thing to look at, to open up some of these dice packs. I dare say these will be a hot commodity in years going forward, because from my understanding, once these are sold out, they're done. So I grabbed one of each. Not all of them. I didn't grab the standard magic items and that kind of stuff. That was just one step too far for me, because these are like $50 a pack, if not more, of dollary doos. But the laws of magic, noting that I managed to secondhand collect all of... Oh, geez, I've just injured my box. That's a good start. All of the laws of magic that were separate for 8th edition, including the core magic. I collected pretty much all of those secondhand from individuals all around the country, so I had no qualms about grabbing these. Here we go. All right, Laws of Magic reference card pack. We've actually got someone here in Canberra, Andrew Hollis, which is a real champ. He's a real champion of the community. He's getting deep into Old World. He's doing a bit of a print run of cards for the laws of those, the legacy factions that we'll never see printed in cards. And I think he's doing including some of the newer factions as well. So he's going to get some cards made up from the rule book with those, so we can have those in card form as well, which is just fantastic. But here we go. Here's the cards. Love having the spell cards. And there's some just... Magic for me in this new edition is just so much better. It was such a mess in 8th edition, and it was done so poorly. But Magic feels good. It feels balanced. It feels meaningful, balanced. It feels more consistent. It feels like it can still go wrong and some zany things can happen. But it's not winning you the game in one Magic phase anymore, or alternatively losing you the game in one Magic phase if it goes horribly wrong. It's not that huge gamble. It's not that huge reliance piece. But yeah, great to... Oh, I've mixed them up, haven't I? They're all over the place now. That's fine. But yeah, so here we go. So, Law of Magic cards. These look exactly what you'd want them to look. It's got the art on the background of all of the different factions' shields, which looks really cool. So yeah, these are nice. I probably won't open the Bretonnian and Khemri ones. I'll hold them off for now until I actually get round to playing them, so they don't get damaged and lost. But these I'll be cracking out because I've been thoroughly enjoying my Orcs and Goblins and the War Magic. Although saying that, I found War Magic to actually be quite underwhelming. So I'm going to try a different lore next time with my Orc and or Goblin Wizards. Just try a little something a little different. Treat myself with some different stuff going on there. So there we have it. That's both my first opening of my Old World goodies. The start of this Bretonnian army. I'm going to start snipping stuff off Sprue soon and gluing together and having fun, converting and just having a wild time. And at the same time, this has been my first live stream. I'm probably going to call it there because I have to go pick up some kidlets from school. But thank you so much for those that have jumped on during the live stream. I think I will post this as well. So for those that then view it afterwards, I hope you enjoy. Obviously, live stream looks a little different to what I usually do, and has been a bit of a ramble, but that's the point. I feel that's the point. So thank you so much. I've got to sign off like I usually do. Can I remember it without a script? Importantly, make sure to keep rolling those dice and getting fired up for fantasy. All right, now I have to work out how to actually turn this thing off. How do I stop a stream? There we go. End stream. Farewell, everyone. Thanks, Zanja, Dustin, Biggie hugs, whoever else is still on. It's been great. You too, mate. Pipsqueak. Is it Pip? Yep, very good. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are around the world, and chat soon.